One, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to a very early morning at the Going Over podcast. I am Zack, primetime Reeb, another bite of that banana. I'm getting very distracted right now. Your neighborhood friendly coach, trainer, promoter, 43-year-old professional wrestler, Zack Primetime Reeb, joined alongside my podcast partner, the 7-foot wrecking ball, and wrecking that 9-inch banana already peeled back this morning. Paul Isadora. What's up, Paul?
That's right, man. I'm just trying not to cramp up. You don't want to get a cramp mid podcast. So, you got to get that, keep the potassium going, and try to keep some flexibility in the joints, and don't let those muscles tighten up too much, right? But man, so we just got off the heels of your show last night, and a lot of chaos happened, a lot of excitement. Got some guys from Oregon there, which I love those guys. There was, it's like right after, or no, it was at intermission. They're asking me like, so what'd you think? What'd you think about the match, and what'd you think about this new kid, and all these different things. And it's a tag match, and there's certain things in a tag match that as we're driving on the way home last night, I'm like, there's a couple things in a tag match that I always say, these are the important things. And we talk about it all the time, with cutting off the ring being one of them. Cut off the ring, keep the fucking guy in your corner. And the other one is, don't shoot the guy off of a rope that his partner's standing on. So those are kind of the baseline stuff that I use. So I was just like, the kid was getting ready to shoot a kid off the guy, a rope that his partner was standing on, and one of the veteran guys in the match, I could hear verbally saying, "Take him to the corner, shoot him corner to corner." And I was just like, I said, "Hey, I like the look of the kid." I said, "But I don't know if he's good or if he was just listening to you fucking, guide the show." And I guess either way, if you're a good fucking listener, that's a good sign as well. So yeah, excitement, man. My fucking alarm went off, and I'm like, what the fuck am I doing? Why am I waking up at 5:30 in the morning? But I knew right off the bat it's because I needed some potassium.
That's what it was. I thought it was for the podcast, and I get the pleasure. You said it before we started. Can you look another man in the eyes while he's eating a banana? And yes, I can is the answer
keep a
to
straight
that
face.
question. Oh, yes, I can is the answer to that question. To talk about that, I met those guys through you and your promotion, which you weren't even there. You weren't there for that weekend, and me and those guys hit it off really well. And they come down, and it's one thing I told them, and it's one thing I try to tell everybody who comes to a PCW event is you don't have to do much. You really don't. Like, you come in and you go, man, I really want to do these moves. I really want, it's a good crowd. It was a great crowd for a very hot mid-July. And, I had a lot of people tell me that too. Like, man, this was one of the better pandemonium crowds that we've had in a couple years. And I go back to what I was talking about. I was talking about it at a big team meeting we had, and I'll say it over and over and over again. Yes, because you get out there and you put in the work. And what a lot of people don't realize is you go, man, we had a great crowd tonight, right? And they go, there must have been a lot of money made on that. And you go, well, 2 weeks prior to that, we had a show with, in a new venue with split revenue, and there wasn't a lot of money made in that. And there wasn't a lot of money made at Living the Dream. And then you get this show, and with everything that goes on in the summer stroll before that, and all the gas and all the driving around and everything that you're doing, and all the promotion that you're putting in to all the tickets and the posters and the flyers and the travel and just all this stuff adds up, and you go, that was a great show last night. But what that show did last night was it leveled the company out. You know what I mean? And it didn't level me out as Zack Reeb. It leveled the company out. Zack Reeb is still sitting here going, ooh, this a year ago where I started doing this full time, this is getting like real tight right now. But when things start to get seem like they're getting bad, they're actually getting better. So man, what a fight through the summer this has been. And I know I kind of moved that a little bit, but at these shows, you just got to come in and you got to work, man. Take your time, get your character over. And we talked about it yesterday, and it's something that I really want to talk about today, and we'll get going. But if you're not interacting with that crowd, if you're not taking your time to work with them and go off of what they're saying, execution, man. I'm going to say it over and over and over. If you can't execute, if we can't, if the audience, whether there's 8 guys out there fighting or not, if you're not selling, if you're not letting the other guys have their moment, I get chaos, but chaos is in bunches, man. Bam, we start fighting. It's chaos. Okay, let someone get in there like I was trying to do and let something play out, and then bring someone else in while someone else goes out to sell. And man, was that just not the case for me last night. It was just what? Everyone, someone has a chair. I've never seen so many undersized kids aluminum little league baseball bats out at a ring in my life. And I think I told you that too. I said, the guys were walking around and I said, fucking everyone's got a little league baseball bat, and not even a brand that I ever seen. And I'm like, this looks very unsafe. Like, I don't know what these big guys are going to do with these little aluminum baseball bats, like this. I was like, well, what's going on over here? And then I saw weapons being put under the ring, and I just sat there and I said, I think this might not go the way I have it played out in my head. Because in my head, when I'm putting this together, I'm like, oh, we're going to tell some stories off of this bad boy. So tell me what your thoughts are in your mind. I just want to know, and I might be putting you on the spot, and that's good. In your mind, what do you think I'm talking about when I'm talking about execution of what you're trying to tell out there at the ring?
Well, I mean, I think in a lot of cases, execution. I was just talking to you about this before, and it's having a bit of a skeleton or a plan of what's going to go on, and then being able to kind of put it into play. I use the example of watching Adam in some of these 60-minute Ironman matches as a part of the best of 7 series in SPW. And I remember the car ride home after the first one, and it was like we ran out of stuff to do, and I was like, oh, you know what? If you ever do that again, probably a good idea is to have some big moments, right? Normally you have the ring announcer calling out different times, right? And we've talked in the past about sometimes that's a hey, make sure you're getting moving on, going home or whatever. It's time cues for certain things, not because you need to know exactly what the time is, but sometimes those are good little cues where you can go, okay, well, we're thinking this match is going to go 20 minutes, and in this case you got 8 people in it, and can you just talked about like the ring being completely empty, and nobody being in there, and then all of a sudden it was like a magnet. Somebody gets in there, then everyone gets in there, instead of executing somebody going in there and kind of getting the spotlight and giving the crowd something to focus on, because I think in those matches there's just so much shit going on that you're like, what should I be watching? Should I be watching these two guys fight over here, or these two guys fight over here, or these guys are over by the merch table and whatever? And it's like, dude, what should I look at? What you're just like, and us doing commentary was kind of the same thing. You're trying to think of like, where are the camera guys standing? What can I be saying that they might be picking up right now to try to mesh it all together? And and I think that goes right into execution on the production side. You guys are out there trying to get it together, wrestlers and things like that. And then we're trying to do it on the production side and going, well, fuck, dude, like, what's going to be recorded right now that we can be talking about? And it's just like, you don't know. So I think execution goes into all of those things, man. Like, how do we get the shots that we want to be shooting, and how do we simultaneously talk about the shots that we're getting? So I don't envy Doc at all, man, when it comes to editing that match specifically. I heard him say it on commentary. We could air this thing 3 different times and you'd see 3 different matches.
Which is I'm very excited about the post production of that too. I'm also very excited after what my character did and where I went to camp out with the best view in town for about 15 to 20 fucking minutes. I'm also interested to hear what Doc had to say about that. So I'm watching a fan cam, and it's got the match in its entirety, and I see like 28 comments going up, and I hear like, what's going on? There's a lot going on. And the person filming is like, oh my God, I can't film everything. It's out of there. And then I have a new nickname now, as I finally made it back to the ring off of my VIP seat that I had at the stage right there. And it was, oh, here comes pussy ass Zack. And I was like, fuck yeah, man. Like, that I've been waiting 26 years for my nickname by these fans that buy tickets, and I field their entertainment needs to call me pussy ass Zack. So I almost think that next time we run this, it's no longer going to say prime time right there. It's going to say PAZ. Paz. My new name is going to be Paz Man. Pussy ass Zack is here. And that's, from that ladder match, it's what I was telling. I was sitting there with the 2 guys. I was sitting there with Illumide and Boyce afterwards. And I was just like, you know what? That they brought that belt down twice, and they worked it. Everything, I was talking to them, and it was just a great moment between the 3 of us. Everything went out the window, right? And the best part is all that became like it became improv, man. All the moves, everything they had planned went out the window, and it became just this really good action reaction thing. And I was laughing at both guys because they're like, yeah. And then we came out from under the ring thinking we were going to play fucking King of the Mountain with the belt. And we look up, and the fucking belt is hung back up like a horror movie. You know what I mean? It's like, where's the belt? Oh my God. So Sparky and Chico, the dynamic that was displayed by these 2 amazing performers as referees just proves like they made a story out of the ladder beforehand. And I know that was the thing, like, I'm going up it to put the belt. You hold it for me. Hand it up to me. Get the belt, get the ladder over there. And you go, man, Illumide and Boyce, 2 great performers right in the ring, just out there just doing it. And here's an accident, or this isn't supposed to happen, and working through it, and not just making the best of it. But then you got 2 really great referees, excuse me, out there doing this too. And I always say, you got to have a great heel and a great baby face. And if you have a great referee, you're going to have a great match. But what if you have 2 great referees in this performance right here, and they're backstage? And it just reminded me, at the end of the night, this is physical improv, right? This thing we do is physical improv, and it's such a beautiful thing. And when I look back on that show, I, when I'm in the moment, man, and everybody's hot and they're pissed off, and I remember Buck coming out at the end of the night when it's almost over, and I'm out there by the truck with Phil tightening the padding down, and I see Buck come out, and he's like, "God damn it, motherfucker!" And nobody wants to help roll up the mat. I'm tired of the flooring that we have to roll up. And I think the guy's working, right? He's covered in sweat. And I go, "What's wrong?" And he gets to his car and he pulls up the fucking back of his car and he swings his bag violently around, like, because he's a southpaw, and violently throws it in the back and slams I thought the window was going to shatter. And he's just screaming. And I go up there and I calm him down. And I remember one thing: it's hot as a motherfucker, hot AF at this place. We are out there. Everybody's worn down. We're tired. The AC isn't working as good as it should. They bring in these fucking fans. So it's miserable. It's a miserable atmosphere. And damn it, man. You get home, you get some food in you, you get home, and you don't want to go to sleep. But it was a very impressive night, and it's been such a long 3 weeks for me, 4 weeks actually, with everything that I've had going on. And today we got wrestling class, and then I'm probably going to sleep for a day and a half, to be honest with you, brother.
Exactly, man. Then you got to gear up to come to the state capital in your neighboring state. State capital, man. So, but yeah, man, just the show as a whole, you had so many different dynamics and so many things I can point at and say, man, that was awesome. This stuff worked out perfect, and so many things where I can say, oh man, we definitely need some work there and things like that. But man, that ladder match was definitely the ebbs and flows that we talk about with. You never know what's going to happen, right? But what I said at the very end, after this whole thing is done, I'm talking to these two guys, and I'm just like, what was the deal? It's like, oh, well, just like you said, it was a horror movie. We came back out, the belts is rehung up. So we got to go do this thing all over again. And it's like, one guy's like, I was ready to just be done at the point where the belt fell down. But the other guy, just like we constantly say, I had to get to the spot. We had to do the spot. I was like, oh, that's fantastic. Because I was like, what was going through your guys' mind when all this was happening? And then it came down to that. It was like, well, we had to get to the spot, and I was like, oh yeah, I got to do the move, brother. We got to get to my move, my spot that I got to get in. So, but I think that match was ended up being great just because of how much stuff had to happen on the fly, man, and how those guys just came together and made it work. But I was gonna, kind of piggybacking off of the structuring these longer matches where you have a lot of different pieces that you have to put together, and trying to like I was referencing that Adam match and how you have to kind of use the timekeeper and maybe go, hey, we're going to have a couple of big moments, right? And we talk about wrestling matches not being about people remembering everything that happened in the match, but remembering moments from a match and takeaways like that. And that was kind of our car ride home. We were talking about that. It's like, you remember like exciting things that happen, and you have takeaways from a show. And one of the guys in our car was saying how at our show, the pull apart was the thing that really like took the last show over the top, and was like, that was something that people are going to talk about on the way home, and it's going to be a memorable thing. So I think when you're having those longer matches, or multiple man matches and all these different things. You got to have some of those things. And I was thinking about the difference between the big street fight, and then you had that 4-way match, which I thought was very much how you just described somebody going into the ring, having the spotlight on them so the fans can have something to focus on, and then something happening, one of those guys getting thrown out and a new guy coming in, and then the focus is now on these guys. So just trying to structure some things like that where you have something for the fans to focus on, rather than going, what should I be looking at right now? Because there's so many different dynamics going on. So having something that you can spotlight and go, hey, here's what you should be watching right now. Watch this action because something unique or whatever is going to happen in this scenario. I think that those are some of those things are so important. But overall, man, it's just like, this reignites my love for pro wrestling after being there and watching all the things kind of unfold and things getting covered up and unique things happening. So it was just an exciting night for me, and great car ride home as well.
Well, you get, excuse me, man, my voice is gone. You get in these situations, right? And as a promoter, as a performer, I look at the overall growth of everything. Give them a shout out. Alex, Angel, Michelle, the ladies on the floor, running the door, running the concession, them keeping track of everything. You look at the support of the community and the team and everybody out there, and it was a hot night, and the circus was in town in two different places. Literally, the circus was in town on Oro Dam Boulevard, and then the circus was in town on Montgomery Street. And you just look at this as a promoter. I look at this as a business owner. I go, okay, look at these last 3 weeks, look at the last month, that really hot show all day out there on the summer stroll on Plymouth Street. And then you go, okay. And then we did the new place in Marysville for Limelight, which now has become the home of Limelight. And we did Living the Dream, and we got a great Living the Dream guy out of this. And not only is it a great Living the Dream guy, shout out to Justin Hernandez. They call him Jason. He's from Red Bluff. So now you have this really dedicated, in shape, athletic guy who's been to every class, and he's there to help out. And he just this humble kid. And like I said, I heard Shawn Michaels say, "What are you looking for?" And he said, "Man, I'm looking, they got to be athletic. They got to have coordination, but I'm looking for somebody who has a great attitude. I'm looking for somebody who wants to learn and can apply this stuff rather quickly to it." And you go, now this guy's in Red Bluff and he's already with the other guys there. So we've added another contribution to the team going up there. And you really look at it, and I'm so hard on myself and I'm so hard on everybody else, but you go, okay, well, we lost this financially here. We gained this back, blah, 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 blah. But at the end of the day, where it seems that summer is always slower because there's more going on, I didn't really feel that last night. I felt that the hard work of promoting for a month, getting all those flyers out, going over and over and over again, it works, man. It works. And I feel like once summer dies down, so I feel around September, when people come back to school starts again, the weather starts to cool down. I think from September to about early May, we're going to see the fruits of our fucking labor for all this hard work that is put in. I think we're going to see 5 to 7 months of overly packed buildings in 3 to 4 different towns. I'm already seeing the primetime universities. There's Thursdays and Sundays. There's so many people at the damn place. Even though we're starting a new one today, I've already got the messages last night of got plans with the family, birthday parties. We got this going on. And you're like, it's following a show, man. It's following a show. And I know you got the same stuff going on, and you got the show this weekend in Carson City. Answer the call. Brother, I'm going to tell you what. This is life, man. And this is the best advice. I'm going to give you. I'm going to give it to John Cooper. I'm going to give it to the Big Ugly. I'm going to give it to all these guys out there. This is life, okay? There's vacations, there's trips, there's birthdays, there's funerals, and it's very sad that the man that passed away, I was glad that you told me that and we were able to get that up on the screen. There's so much that goes on, right? There's so much that goes on. And I'm sitting here, not at my wits' end, but I'm sitting here going, it's so hot. I haven't been to a lake. I haven't been to a river. I haven't been camping. I haven't done anything. I haven't even been to bed before midnight in the last 3 weeks. And I'm trucking on this fucking endless train that sometimes I go, man, I don't think it's worth it. But then I keep getting my ass up the next morning and go. When I started this podcast, I was sitting here going, oh, am I even going to make it through this thing? And then now I got some coffee in me, couple drinks of water, and I'm sitting here going, oh, we're halfway through this motherfucker already. My eyes are starting to open up. I'm starting to get a little excited. And I got training today in a new class, and I'm like, let's fucking go, right?
That's it, man. You gotta. It's all about perspective. When you start thinking those thoughts where you go, man, fuck, is it worth it? Um, you just gotta think about that big picture. You think about what. Hopefully, you're going to start building your training class, and I think everything is kind of connected, right? You build the training class, and then you've got more people to go out there and promote. And I always tell these guys that we've got, your job right now is to help build the crowds. So when it's your turn to make your debut and when you start wrestling, the crowd is already going to be there because you've laid the groundwork of getting those people in the building and getting them excited about pro wrestling. And so you're going to walk into a much better situation than it is right now. And that's always the goal is we talk about leaving it better than you found it. So if we walk into a spot where your crowds are small, you got 25, 50 people, and then within a year or two, when you're getting ready to debut, all of a sudden this work that you've done with flyering and word of mouth and just trying to get sponsors and all these different things, all of a sudden that's something that now benefits you, even though when it started it really didn't. You look at it as like, oh, I'm helping this fucking guy make money and promote shows and get people in the door. But it's really in an effort to when these newer guys make their debut and however long it takes them for them to be ready to get in the ring, now the groundwork is set and all these new fans are there and you get to make your debut in front of hundreds instead of tens or dozens or whatever. So I think trying to get across that point, it's always funny to me that, you're either a big time wrestling fan or, you love wrestling, or you're training to be a wrestler, but for some reason you have a problem walking up to someone and saying, hey, there's a wrestling show. Would you like to come to it? Would you like to buy a ticket? Things like that. It's like, it reminds me of when I was a kid and, it was almost like this, you felt, I don't know if guilty or if you felt like an outcast or whatever for being a wrestling fan because everyone was like, that stuff's phony, right? That's fake, right? And people giving you a hard time and ridiculing you for being a wrestling fan. I don't know if that's the mindset still of some of these people, why they don't want to go out and promote and ask people to hang posters in their establishment and sell tickets to people. It's like, are you embarrassed that you're trying to be a pro wrestler? Because why are you trying to be a pro wrestler? Because you're going to go out there in your spandex and your baby oil and put on a performance in front of a bunch of strangers. So if you're not ready for that, maybe you don't need to be in the pro wrestling business.
Well, same with UFC. Everyone always goes, wrestling's gay. And I go, oh yeah? Well, in the UFC, they're wearing even less clothing with no shoes and socks, and they're beating the shit out of each other and wrapping their leg. Look at this triangle choke I have. We sit here and joke like with Sergio Santana about his one big nut, right? Like he's got one big ball and it shifts in his spandex. It'll be on the left side when he comes out to wrestle, and then when he comes back from the match, it'll have moved. This gargantuan testicle will have moved over to the right. And he did something to Dickie last night, and it wasn't like a Luthez press, but he was like covering him with his legs over his chin. And I'm watching through the curtain and I'm like, oh my God, his big nuts are sitting on Dickie's chin, really, right? And Dickie can probably smell these things very badly. But I remember telling, Fab came back last night. I remember telling a couple guys, I keep saying, the best leadoff hitter in PCW, the best leadoff hitter in all of independent wrestling. You're Ricky Henderson, baby. You're Kenny Lofton, if you want to get technical, is Sergio Santana. And I just, like we said, we talked about the Oregon guys. They went out there. They were trying to do too many moves. They weren't interacting with the crowd, and it fell flat. And I went over to Sergio and I said, all right, come on, Ricky, get out there and get her done. And it was really cool because his music hit and his name popped up on the screen and I started hearing boos. And then the second they saw him, they physically saw this guy, the boos picked up. And I mean, he was out there for 5 minutes and Dickie hadn't even come out yet. And his promo, and man, he's getting the heat, right? Like, what an amazing villain this guy is. Whether you love to hate him or you hate him, what a villain. And it just makes the baby face that much bigger. And I go back and I go, man, what an amazing act, right? Like, that's a guy. And he's always so thankful too. Hey, thanks for everything you do, man. And he always gives me a hug and he talks to me and he has a lot of great advice. And it's guys like that. It's guys like that that drive. When he was living in Redding, when I first met him, or now he's living in the Bay Area. It's guys like that that drive to training and they come to every show and they never complain about what you're paying them. And they're always in such a positive attitude and they have a great out. They understand where the camera is. They understand what's going on. They get out there and get this show going for you. And you look at people like that and you go, man, I want to pay that guy more. I want to give that guy more opportunities. I want to give this guy creative freedom of what he's doing because I know he knows what he's doing. There's not a selfish bone in a guy like that's body, man. And he's really worked and helped Dickie grow where he needed to. I think Dickie's finally getting it. And that's something that you go, that's more beneficial than anything else you could. So I just can't express enough the what it's like to have a talent like that in the locker room. And you, as promoters, we have to go, all right, that's my leadoff guy. He's not just going to go out there and give me a good match for match one and steal the show. He's not looking to steal the show in the ring and make it harder for everybody else behind him. He's the best leadoff man in the game because he's going to get the crowd doing what they need to do. He's going to get them making the noise and booing and cheering and having that time they're supposed to have. And he's going to do what we always talk about in that match one. Set the tone, Paul.
Exactly. And I was just about to say that because that's exactly what you want, because a lot of times, especially when you have new fans, they want to be involved, but it's almost like they're looking around like, You know, do I want to be over the top clapping? Do I want to be, you know, really into the show? Do I want to, like, I feel like it's that stigma, right? Even though you're surrounded probably by a bunch of wrestling fans, you're almost like you need a little coaxing, man, to come out of the shell and really go all out as a fan, right? Because I think, you know, a lot of times I love to get lost in the moments, right? Even though you, in theory, know what's going on, you know, you're an insider. It's one of my favorite things to just sit in the crowd and fucking get lost, you know, like just get involved in the match and clap my hands and make noise and things like that. So I think a guy like Sergio, right off the bat, you know, comes out of the curtain and it's like you can nudge that person next to you, you can elbow him and go, "Oh fuck, man, I hate this guy." You know, watch when he comes out. You're gonna hate him too, right? And it's almost you give the other people in the crowd the you give them the okay to start cheering and reacting for that. And I think that the guy like that is going to allow those fans to really spread that throughout the entire crowd. And that's why you get that type of reaction, because you see the person next to you booing this guy and you go, okay, fuck, it's good, man. I'm allowed to do that too. I can kind of, you know, take the ponytail out and let the hair down and really, you know, get into the moment, right? And I can really you know, get lost in it, right? This guy's gonna this guy's gonna come out and entertain, and he's gonna make me hate him and things like that. So those are the things that you like to have when you got a Sergio Santana on your card, man. The guy can come out there and just get that reaction and make all the fans understand that it's okay to cheer and boo and get involved and do all the different things that we want them to do, right? Like, hey man, it's okay to come in and be a wrestling fan and be entertained and show your emotions and all those different things. So I think guys like that really help the show because they allow that to happen, and then all of a sudden it spreads like wildfire, and you got a lot of fans that maybe were sitting on their hands. Now we're interacting with the wrestlers and being a part of the show, and you know, and when they get involved, it's always great, man.
Hey, you're right. It is okay to come. And I was trying to get you to spit that soda, but it didn't work.
Not happening.
Not happening, bro. I'm
No, because
stone cold.
that's right, man. Because I already ate this banana with a straight face,
Potassium.
looking you straight in the eye when I had a banana in my mouth.
Hey, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Going Over podcast. It's Big Potassium and it's PAZ, pussy ass Zack. Yeah, you can. You can also have a guy like, and that's the thing about my shows is I'm going to come on here and I'm going to say your fucking name, and I'm not going to just talk about a scenario. You also got a guy like MILF Hunter, and you're like, hey, here's your opportunity to go out there. And he walks out the curtain, and the first thing he does is doesn't pay attention, and his jacket hits the clip of the curtain on the screen, and now you got wrestlers fucking dive bombing off the stage to get out of the way so nobody can see him. And then this moron goes out there and does his bit, and Boyce calls me over and goes, what the fuck is the point of this? And I go, oh, he's gonna bring a lucky lady from the Oroville audience in the ring, and he's gonna give her a rose and lock lips with her. And he goes, and then? And I go, well, we got to get him over. And he goes, yeah, but what are you going to do? I go, I'm going to keep doing this. And he goes, okay. I said, reverse ravishing Rick Rude, right? And then I go, and if no girls raise their hand or nothing, we'll send Doc up there, and Doc can tell him he's got herpes on his lip and he's not going to air this on his Limelight show. We can send Sergio out there. Who wants to kiss this man when you can kiss a wrestling superstar, right? And he goes, yeah, but what's the point? And I'm like, and I'm telling, and I keep answering this man's questions, which they're all very good questions, by the way. And I keep giving him the answers. So, and he's waiting for the kiss, and it's just a peck on the cheek. And he's like, that's it? That's all he did? I thought he was going to make out with this girl. And I'm like, yeah. So, I had to tell him, hey, you came out the curtain. It was your entrance. And you exposed the boys, right? And I remember too, Brandon Humphrey was, I think, the first guy who exposed the boys, where he came out the curtain and knocked it down. And I've seen Ethan Reno. And the reason I'm naming these people isn't to be mean. It's because I remember who exposes the boys in an entrance, because it's like, just like in the ring, this is a fucking work, man. You do not have to come out for your entrance or knock the whole set over. It's your entrance, pal. Nobody gives two shits. Here's the curtain. You can just move it out of the way or walk past it. And then when you get out into the safe zone, these guys that are grabbing the fucking curtain and ripping it open like the Incredible Hulk and exposing everybody in the locker room, or knocking the fucking screen down, knocking shit. Like, calm down, dude. It's okay. You're just walking out the curtain. If you can't walk out the curtain without knocking the set over and exposing the talent in the back, I probably don't want to get in the wrestling ring with you. You know what I mean? It's like shaking someone's hand and it's real light. And you're like, okay, that's feminine. You're really taking this worker handshake a little serious. Or they shake your hand and they fucking squeeze all four of your fingers together, and you're like, fucking crowbar. You know what I mean? But I mean, have we ever talked about that on the podcast? Has anybody in a fucking podcast ever talked about that in their life? Like, hey, man, get out there first and then you can go fucking crazy, I guess. But you don't need to knock the curtains off and destroy this. You're destroying the fucking set on your way out to the ring because your entrance is so thrilling, right? Ladies and gentlemen, my music hits. And it's like, calm down, killer. You don't gotta destroy my shit or somebody else's shit, the city's shit. You gotta destroy the city of Orville's shit because you fucking it's my time to shine. I thought that was so funny, man. Which he's a great kid, by the way. And everybody I mentioned in the set destroying are good people, but it's like, calm down, guys. You don't got to destroy. You don't have to walk out that curtain so intense.
Exactly. And you think about it, especially that character, like it should be kind of like, it should be slower, man. You should be fucking milking that. But yeah, to Boyce's point, it's like, why wasn't it? Like, that's what I thought. I thought it was going to be like, dip the girl down and, intense make out and all this different stuff. And I was just like, I was also saying the same type of thing. It's like, just a quick kiss. It's like, who knows, man?
Well,
maybe you don't have too much experience making out with girls. Maybe that's what it is. I don't know.
He's got a kid.
Okay.
He's a single dad through a tragic event, and he's raised a very, I love the guy for that, but maybe he's not getting a lot of action on the side, not trying to put nobody's business out there. It's like, we were riding home. Me and Rick were riding home with one of the guys yesterday, who is actually, and I'm not going to say his name because a lot of people know him. You probably know him, but we got a 40-year-old virgin in the professional wrestling industry. And I was listening to a conversation on the way home in the vehicle. And it's like, hey, man, want us to get you laid? And I've tried before too. Like, I've tried. And this person's just uninterested in that. So it's like, if you have a character that's a love machine or a ladies' man or something like that, are you a ladies' man?
Right, exactly.
Are you a ladies' man? Do Do you know? Are you a good kisser? Do you know how? Do you know how to tease some good foreplay? What's going on over here? And we refer to that all the time. Wrestling's foreplay, and I look at that street fight, and that was what I like to refer to as. And it's okay because a major WWE NorCal character was named this. That street fight last night was a hardcore bukkake. You know what I mean? That was all we were missing in that match was the Asian, because that was a hardcore bukkake. That was like kicking the door in, already erect, edged yourself for the last 2 hours and just, whoa, yeah. And then you're like, okay, the nut has been busted, right? Now it was like everybody's trying to nut again. And you're like, it ain't gonna happen, pal. I'm 43. I got one good round in me. You know what I mean? And after that, leave me the fuck alone for the next I don't know, 6 to 8 hours, because it ain't happening for me. I'm done. I'm spent. I'm shot. And everybody came out the curtain and just blew it. And then they were like trying to do it again. And you're like, hey man, you already busted that one. We ain't gonna get this thing hard again. We ain't gonna bust this one again. And they just kept trying. And we all know from experience, you know, those times you try to do it twice and you're bored at home and you catch yourself just tugging away on a little gummy worm, you know what I mean? And you just can't seem to build things back up again. And I use these references. Yeah, maybe I'm trying to be funny. Maybe I am, maybe I'm not. I think I am. But I use these references because using those type of references, and I learned it from Mike Modest, man, and I learned it from the guy that trained me, and I learned it from other people. It's easier to get people to understand what you're saying when you use those type of references, because if you just go, so you were up here and then you down here and you were trying to get back up here, and people are like, oh, I was up here, I was down here. What do you, okay. So I think you got to bring a sense of humor to this, man. But it's just, whew, it's been good, man. But it's been long, and
Right.
I think that should be the title of this wrestling business is, man, we talk about it, the journey, right? Fuck, what a journey I've been on, man. And it's like, man, I'm gonna be missing all my teeth. I'm gonna be popping blue pills, and I'm gonna be shitting my pants. And this journey's finally gonna start to see the destination. And I'm gonna be sitting here walking around with a cane going, let me tell you something, you little motherfucker. This is how and younger people under me are going to be reaping the benefits of all this hard work. So, are you willing to do that? And if you're not, get out of here.
I thought you were going to say respectfully.
Woo! Yeah.
Oh, that was the great conversation with Larry. He's like talking about people, you know, helping people get in shape and them sending him photos and stuff like that. And it's like, and always the last photo is a naked one with two fingers up like this. No, I'm just kidding about the naked one, but
I
it
bet.
is. But you never know. You never know. Yeah, but I like how you're spitting out your water.
Because I thought about
Got
Larry.
you, fucker.
Yeah, he did. I thought about Larry naked, sending other men naked photos with a middle finger up. And I was like,
Queen size bed at the Best Western.
hey, he's at the
Circus.
circus. He's at the circus. California King, baby. Don't you ever doubt that. He makes a lot of sense. I love talking to him, man, because he makes a lot of sense. It's like when I was out there and I saw that your answer the call thing in the car, and I came in and started, you were talking to Sparky, and I kind of interrupted and gave you guys shit. And then I showed you the Siamese twin video, which was classic. I love showing people that video. But in the same sense, and Sparky, man, he's got a lot of business acumen. You know what I mean? And I wish he would have had more people behind him when he was running the Gold Rush promotion, because that's somebody who, God, he bought rugs that said Gold Rush to put in the ring. He bought all the bells and whistles to make the show even better. And I just look at that, and we're talking about, like, with Larry, and I talk about there was no QR code, stuff like this, and it's so funny in this business. And I was talking to you about it. You can put all the information on there. You can put the QR code, the website, the address, the doors open, bell time, ticket prices, everything. And the fans will call you the number and be like, hey, what time's the show start? Hey, how much are tickets? Where do I get tickets? Hey, what's the address? What's the date? It's all there, fuckhead. You know what I mean? And then you could misspell something, or the date could be wrong, or there could not be a number on it. And somehow these fans will get a hold of you to let you know you're a fucking moron and didn't put this stuff on it. But they're the same fans that will call you and be like, hey, what day's the show? Are you looking at the flyer, asshole? You got all the information. Click. You know what I mean?
That's classic though, man. That's exactly what it is. It's like you give them all the information, and then they want to call you and ask you the questions. But if you don't, they're gonna let you know you fucked something up and left something off or misspelled something. So, and that was another one of those topics of conversation. It's like, you you have somebody that's doing the promotional materials for you, and sometimes it takes longer than you'd like it to take, and you're frustrated, and then you finally get it and you go, oh fuck, thanks, man. We'll get that printed up and get it sent out, and then you realize after you've got spent money printing off all of your promotional materials that something on there is spelled wrong, or there's a wrong date, or you're missing information, and you're going like, fuck, man, I got all this shit printed off. Especially if you've already printed off and started distributing it, that's even better. Distributing all the information with wrong dates, or some sort of wrong information, or something misspelled. It was a conversation I had with someone the other day where they were like sending me information. Oh, well, this is how you can get some money or something like that. And I was like, yeah, sorry, man, I don't trust you, because you don't know the difference between two, and two.
Well,
So it's like, hey, dude, if your grammar and punctuation is terrible, I can't take you seriously. It's like, and I don't know if it's like a college educated person or what it is, but it's like, that's one of my big pet peeves, man. It's like you start seeing that type of shit on the internet. It's like, sorry, man, I can't take you seriously because you don't have any punctuation in your sentence, or you're using the wrong there. See you there.
I'm going to come over. TWO.
Exactly.
I'm going to. You're going to. Two people are coming over. Well, I mean, that's the thing, man. We talk about it all the time as we're getting close here. You gotta find your team, right? You gotta find your team, and I was using a certain guy for posters and flyers and all that stuff, and then other people start using that guy, and then he ends up hooking up and doing a lot of business with another company, which is great for the other company. It's great for him, but in this line of work, you can't have ill will towards somebody like that. It's like, I really like you. When I'm ready for this aspect of the business, we can work together with again, and I need this, and you can offer this. We'll be back together when I see it shows or whatever. We're going to be cool. But that's what worked for him, and that's where his business went. So now I had to go out and I had to find my own guys to do this stuff with, and you have to have a team, man. If you don't have a team, you ain't gonna have no dream. And Paul, here we go, ladies and gentlemen. 5 minutes remain in this podcast. 5 minutes. What do you got? Anything, man? What's
Oh
on
no,
your mind?
I think just to piggyback off of that, it's like you find someone who does something well, and then other people start using that same person. And I think a lot of times what happens is you start getting duplicate material, right? Because it's like, oh shit, I got all these projects I want to do, and then it's like you start using similar stuff, and then all of a sudden, something that you're doing looks eerily similar to something that I'm doing, so it's like you start getting that the repetition, the duplicate stuff, and you go, fuck man, I got to move in a different direction. I need to get a different perspective, get somebody that sees this a little bit differently. I have you always think about revamping and making something new. Maybe it's your logo, maybe it's something like that, and sometimes you just need that different perspective, right? You get on that the train where you're just like, oh, super focused on this is what we're doing, and sometimes things start to get a little bit stale, where now if you get somebody else's perspective, um, things will start looking differently, and maybe you start looking at things differently. So I think that that's always important, and I think that that's something that I value so much with just the relationship that we've developed as of late, is that I feel like I can bounce ideas off you, and hopefully you do the same with me. And so I think that that's good, because instead of just going, I'm really down this tunnel, I've got tunnel vision going in one direction. You can bounce ideas off somebody else, and they can say, hey, but what about this? Have you ever thought about this? And it starts opening your mind to to seeing some other things and different possibilities, and you get a little bit more flexibility with things that you're doing. So I think that that's definitely something that's valuable, and I feel like there's so many people that contribute things to the pro wrestling business, and if you get some other perspectives, I think it's always a good thing where you can kind of get somebody else that's got maybe a different viewpoint on something. Like, I always appreciate the conversations that we have, because it's never like you're wrong and I'm right. It's always, have you ever thought about it in this, twist it this way? Have you ever thought about this perspective of this particular topic? So, and I don't know, I think that goes all the way from promoting to training to all the different aspects, how you set up chairs in your building.
Exactly. Well, it becomes like it's defensive. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not when I have conversations with people, I have to look at it and go, is my time being used wisely here now? Like, am I talking to this? I love to joke around and have a conversation, but if we're going to talk about the wrestling business, let's make sure that the business part of this, we can joke around, make fun of some shit, have fun all day long. We can be buddies. But if we're going to talk about this, let's not waste no fucking time with this, because this is business. And it's like a Brandon Johnson, a Doc Haywood, a Buck James. Like in Buck's rant last night when he came over and calmed down, he looked, I had my hands rubbing on his shoulders. He's like, "Are you doing the podcast tomorrow?" And I was thinking he was going to be like, "Oh, fuck, I want to be on this thing, event." And I was like, "Yeah." He's like, "I'll get it up for you." And I was like, "What the fuck's he talking?" "Oh, yeah, that's right. I got to do a podcast in the morning." Through his anger and him storming off, he was still letting me know that he was going to put this podcast up. You know what I mean? You send me the link. You send the link over. You do all this stuff. I sit here in this fucking other side of this fucking phone and cuss and talk about dick and stupid jokes. You know what I mean? As educational shit too. But you got to respect these people that are doing all this work. Like when this hits, who's the first people that I give that big chunk of money to? It's Brandon Johnson. It's Doc Haywood. It's Buck James. It's those guys that sit here and go through all this stuff with me. And ladies and gentlemen, we're getting close. So I'm going to say this. If you're a promoter, get your ass out there, put up posters, and promote your shit.
Capital City Clash. It's coming this weekend, July 19th, Carson City.
Suck it.
We're going over.